welcome to Off the Stoop podcast. Got VA Poe with me right here. What and who is Off the Stoop podcast? Tell the people.
Right. So the what? So Off the Stoop podcast, it was a collective group of individuals that came together, and we pretty much, we all came from different walks of life, but at some point in time we jumped off the stoop pretty early in life. So, I kind of ran with that, as the name. So that's where that came from. The who consists of, myself, VA Poe, my partner Strive, Mikeski, y'all know him as MikeskiTV, DJ Q, my partner BU, we call Butter, and DB ENT. So that's Off the Stoop podcast. That's the who.
All right. Where'd the name come from?
That's an interesting story. So, it dawned on me, man, that a lot of people on YouTube was actually using the name Man Cave Chronicles. I originally ran with that from the start, and I thought that it would be a great name, being though I was hosting it, in my basement, and come to find out, it was just used too many times. Too many people have that name, so we had to come up with a better situation. So me and my partner was outside one day, me and Mikeski, and we got to thinking, and it hit us like boom, Off the Stoop. You know what I mean? So that's where the name came from. Yeah, okay. It just worked out perfectly.
All right. VA Poe.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What sets you apart and Strive and the rest of the guys from every other podcast that's out there?
That's a great question. So I feel like first I'm gonna start with all of us. What sets us apart? I just feel like we all came up together. We've known each other for years. Some of the guys I grew up with almost 20 years. So I mean, we have history together. That's one thing that sets us apart. I feel like we didn't just meet each other and then boom, we came up with something. Nah, we've been doing this for years. So we've been in this world, for a while now, on the entertainment side of things. Whether it was music, whether it was doing shows, didn't matter. But we've been doing this for a while. So I just felt like us having the camaraderie as brothers and always being together and doing things together. It kind of set us apart from everybody else. You know what I mean? Just having that bond. You know what I'm saying?
All right. What made you guys transition into the podcast lane?
Well, for me, so I just had a vision one day, man. I had a vision one day, and it's kind of funny because this was never even my lane. I never really thought about doing a podcast. Never thought about it. Never once even, considered it. But yeah, it just dawned on me that maybe I should. I had a lot to talk about. My daughter was a major part of that. So I had to get a lot off my brain. I wanted to. So I just took the time to try to come up with a different strategy, and it led to the podcast lane. So that's that.
Okay. How to say it? Like, what has it taught you so far? Like that transition, what did that teach you?
So it's taught me a lot so far. I've been learning how to deal with different emotions from people, not only from people but from myself. I'm starting to gain a real understanding of how to talk to people, and almost to the point where I can almost finish a sentence almost. So it's been helping me in that aspect. It's also been helping me, I mean, you know, mentally, just gaining knowledge from different people and different things about, you know, life in general, that everybody has a story to tell. You know, it's been a fun ride, man. It's just been great, just learning about different people and different things. So, you know, that's that.
Okay. Do you consider yourself like a great listener?
Yeah, I do, and it's funny you say that because before, you know, I say when I was younger, I didn't really listen as much as I should. As I got older, I started understanding, you know, it's better to listen than to speak. You learn a lot more when you listen, you know, and it just, it's all a learning process, you know what I mean? So yeah, I do.
Some people do listen to respond, and that's incorrect. So, you know,
Right.
you wanna listen to get the information if you know, if you're interested in it.
Absolutely.
But, yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
A lot of people know you as being an artist, music artist. You indulged in that for some years from what I know.
Right.
Is that in the past, or you still like with like going to the studio, making beats, writing music, or is it just something that you do just for fun? Tell the people.
Yeah, I'm gonna always be in that world when it comes to music. Music is actually, you know, my passion. I've been doing it for a long time. I have been in the studio. For those that don't know, I have been. I haven't put nothing out really yet, but you know, I've been doing certain things on the low. But yeah, the music world is still a part of me. But as of right now, I think, you know, what I'm trying to do with this podcast situation, it's the direction I'm trying to pretty much go. But the music is still there. I'm still, you know, interested, still doing it.
All right. As far as the podcast, do you feel that you're learning as you go? Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's a different world, you know, and coming in, starting off, pause. I thought that it was going to be a little easy, you know, but as I'm going along and I'm starting to, you know, understand different things about this industry, yes, it's definitely some work into it. It's not a game at all. It requires a lot. One thing that my mentor he stresses is time. Time is a major thing when it comes to whether being on time, putting things out on time, you know, along those aspects. So yeah, I'm learning a lot as time goes on.
All right. What are some short-term and long-term goals for Off the Stoop podcast for this platform?
Short-term goals. My short-term goals is obviously, you know, the subscribers. You know, we want all the subscribers we can get, man. I think that's the key to this whole thing. Once we have the subscribers and the people actually listening and to what we have going on, you know, and catching wind of the content, I think that's big for us, is the subscribers. So that's my short-term goal when it comes to that part of things. Another short-term goal of mine, you know, I think that I think we're going to have that one video that will probably set us apart from everybody else that may go viral sometime soon. So it's a process, but we getting there, you know. So that's my short-term. Long-term goals is to turn this thing into an official business, number one. You know, and continue to be on that straight path, and also just make the Off the Stoop podcast a household name. You know, that's one of my and our, you know, long-term goals, to be a household name. So.
What made you want to start working with MikeskiTV?
Yo, so MikeskiTV, man, he inspirational dude. He definitely was someone that I had to get in contact with. It's kind of funny because it started off as me hitting him, pause, about the music, and I used to send him all my music and all kinds of different things, and you know, Mike Ski's a busy man, so you know he got back to me when he could, but yeah, he's an inspiration to me, man. You know, he's my mentor actually. You know, he teaches me a lot, not only with the podcast, but also outside of the podcast, you know, and just how to maneuver and move as an individual, and as a so-called journalist, because that's what this is pretty much. And in that world, you know, because he's been there before. He's gotten plaques. He's had different, you know, YouTube channels. He's been on YouTube. He's been in the industry world, so he has a lot of knowledge when it comes to this lane, you know. So he's definitely an individual that I felt like I needed around me, because like they said, you put yourself around the right person, you know, things could happen. So, and things have been happening. So, you know, I made the right decision.
Who is V.A. Poe?
V.A. Poe. Yeah, that's a great question. V.A. Poe, a father, a hustler, a God-fearing man, just a real down-to-earth individual. You know, I pride myself on loyalty, respect, you know, just being real and just holding that power in my hand and knowing what I want. You know, it took a while for me to really get to the point of even telling my business on camera. You know, I had to transition myself into doing that. So, yeah, I'm not a superhero. I'm just a real man. You know what I mean? That's V.A. Poe, man. Something to sum it up. You know, yeah.
What does the future look like for the podcast, for Off the Stoop podcast? What does the future look like for it? Where you see it in 2 years from now, or maybe even 6 months from now?
I see us taking off. I see Off the Stoop podcast, like I said before, as a household name. I do. I think we right now have the upper hand when it comes to this lane somewhat, because I think our podcast is a little different from a lot of other podcasts, and that's why I started this. I feel like on my podcast you can be yourself. You don't have to hide anything. Of course, we ain't trying to get nobody locked up or nothing like that, but you know, you don't have to hide anything. You can tell your story. You can be at peace telling it, and it's like therapy. You know, I wanted it to be a place that real street niggas and real individuals could come to and feel at home and feel at peace. You know, and get some kind of clarity from being around me and on the podcast. And just keeping it real, man. You know, I feel like this podcast will definitely be a household name in the next few years. And the world will know who Off the Stoop podcast is. I really believe it.